Hey guys, so I got like another slideshow for you. So I've got a collection of, as you can see, culverts, pass-throughs, things like that that ran underneath the railroads on, multiple different rail trails. This one was on the Farmington. It looks cool because it's got the tree down here. And the bottom of this is solid, as you can see. And this was in the summer when it was dry. These are usually only wet or have running water, in the spring when the snow is melting and everything, or when we get heavy rains, of course. But most of the time, it'll be like this. You see, it's very simple. Obviously not simple to build because the blocks are so huge, but just blocks stacked up on top of each other. I did walk through this one. It's higher than you think. I'm 6 feet tall. I had to bend down just a little bit. But most of them I walk through are probably between 5.5, 6 feet tall. They are, there's plenty of headroom there. They're bigger than you think they are. Here's another one. This might have been the same one from the other side. And you can see that bottom with all the stones kind of cemented in. This one, I got spooked by it was probably a swallow or something. I was just walking through and it just, they do make nests up in here. So just beware when you walk through these things. something might scare you there. This one, it was easy to walk down from the trail and step down here and step down to here, and very, very easy to walk through. And there you can see the size of the blocks and where they, had to wedge these in here and there. This looks like a piece of a railroad tie right here. And this former railroad bridge, I guess technically you call that a bridge. Big stone walls here, and sometimes there is water run through here because there's a hill, like a hills over here. I wouldn't call them mountains, but they're just kind of again, with the melting of snow, you get kind of various little streams running all through here. But again, this was in the summer. It was very dry. But you can see the railroad ties up here, the beams. This one, this one is massive. Now, when I talked about an old stone dam before. This is when I first saw that, when I walked through this and looked up over it. You can't see it from the picture. This thing is very, very, I should have measured it, but it's way, like, again, I'm 6 feet. This was probably, oh God, 7, 8 feet of clearance. Pretty massive, and just a big, I don't know if that's concrete platform, but huge. There's some stones that fell down somewhere. But you can see all the blocks stacked up over here. This is again on the Farmington. Little bit of water there, just left over from the spring or the rain, because it'll look like a river in the spring after the melting. It just, and there's a name for it. I don't know if they called it Snake River, Rattlesnake, or something like that, but it's not. It's a riverbed, but it's not always running water. And just a better look at it right there. This huge, huge platform. Just massive. And of course, this could get a little slick right here. But yeah, it's when I first walked through here and looked up, I was staring at a huge stone wall, and I didn't even know what it was. And that's when I first found that stone dam. And then when I went back up to walk around to get a better look at it, that's when I saw the stone foundation. But look at that. Isn't that crazy? And this could have also been a pass-through, again, for, it was used for water, but also for probably livestock or wildlife or whatever, because there are farms up around here off this road over there. Another culvert there. That one I can assure you I did not walk through. But you can see all the way into the other side. This would have been too small, obviously. That's from the other side, the one I already looked at. Plenty of space to walk through here. That was also, this would have also been in the Farmington. Just a huge pile of rocks and just that one little opening. This one's interesting because you could look up in the corner here. Can you see that? 1849. So that's inscribed into the stone. And that's the year the tracks were laid down for the Cocheco Railroad from Dover to Farmington, and this is in Farmington, New Hampshire. Isn't that cool? I never expected to see that, because sometimes you'll see a more defined actual date, almost like it'll be in the concrete, but almost looks like a plate. This literally just inscribed into it. Isn't that something? And it's cool because there's this whole big structure here and just this little opening in the corner. But when I walked around, I had to walk down the hill from the trail, then walk around and walk down some rocks, and boom, that's the first thing I saw was the year. That was a really awesome find. And this was not far from that one. This one you can kind of see from the road, from Route 11 in, well, this time of year, you could see it. But it's amazing to me how this is pretty much hidden. You can see the elevation, the trail's way up here. And I had to walk down. This one wasn't too steep. It wasn't too bad to get to. Because what happens is, when I walk the trails, I'll look down. Obviously, if you see water, well, there's got to be a culvert somewhere if you see water on both sides. And you'll see the top of this stone, and that's what I do. I see the top of a stone, I'm like, okay, let's go down there. But I actually never expected to see this. And notice there's no mortar. Just an amazing structure, beautiful structure for its purpose, just a simple purpose of letting water run through. And it didn't have to look like that because hardly anyone ever sees it. Still today, hardly anyone's ever going to see this. So it's a lot of work to make it look really pretty when it's really not being seen by a lot of people. Pretty crazy. Isn't that something? This is also Farmington. Just again, just some massive blocks. I thought I saw something inscribed on this, but I didn't actually see anything. A lot of times you just see something like this. I think this was right off of Little Falls Bridge Road. No pipes, no nothing. Just the stones. Isn't that something? Look at that. And you can see the stones on the bottom. Again, makes it easy to walk through. You can see how they just filled everything in. Just very, very simple, really. Not simple, again, to do because of the size of the stones, but just a very simple concept. A lot of work just to drain some water. This one you can see right here, they use rail. They use section of rail to hold up the stones here, the platform. So there's two separate stones you can see. But this I did see a lot in New Hampshire. I saw a lot of this where and there'll just be a series, or there'll be one right next to the other all the way through. And it makes sense. I mean, you already have the rail, you're already using it. Even if it was, sections were broken, You know, if it's still extended a certain ways, a certain length, you can still use it all the way through. Adds a lot of strength. Look at that. Just beautiful walls. Just imagine what it took. There's another arch. Now this one is on the Rockingham. I think this was near, I think this may have been as I was entering Fremont, which wasn't that far into the trail. Again, just this massive structure, and on either side, like facing behind me, would be there's some wire fence because someone's property is there, a farm or something, and the other side is just all swampy. So again, just beautifully built. Didn't have to be, but just you know, when you build something like that, I think you want people to see it. Well, not a lot of people are going to see it because, again, most people that walk the trail are probably not going to want to walk down this steep embankment here. I guess you could kind of walk down these as steps. They're higher than you think, though. And there's plenty to hang on to with trees on the way down, but just a beautiful arch that, again, not a lot of people are actually going to see. And there's the other side of it with the trees growing up right there. And you can see the little piece of stone used to fill it in, level it off. This one's just huge. I wish I had measured some of these, but this one's massive. And you see a lot of this really thick stone just to have this little opening right here. That's it. This, I believe, I don't know if this was also on the farm or the probably in the Rockingham. That's cool with the tree growing right over the stones right here. This is one of the many pass-throughs on the Rockingham. There's probably like 5 or 6 like this, where it's an actual culvert pipe. I walked through it, no problem. Some of the boards on some of them are broken. You have to be careful. But you can ride your bike or walk through these. They're pretty long because some of them are actually going under a highway. So that's what they planned for, not just for drainage, but an actual pass through. So there's, on the Rockingham, there's not that many roads you have to cross. If you have to cross a road on the Rockingham Rail Trail, it's just some little not so busy street, you know, most of the time. But yeah, that's all it is, a giant culvert pipe. And again, I'm 6 feet and I could stand up straight, no problem. It was probably just barely over 6 feet high, but plenty of headroom for walking, biking, whatever. Just be careful of the boards in some of them. I'm sure they maintain them here and there. And there's just a little simple pipe right there. I believe this was on the, I think this was in Belmont. This was on the, I forgot what they called it. Just a little spur railroad. It was only like 2 miles long. And there's another one on the Rockingham. It'll say low clearance, but still just over 6 feet high. Or probably exactly 6 feet. My head might have been almost rubbing on that one. But again, it makes it easier, a nice uninterrupted hike if you're going walking the Rockingham, for the most part. This was probably also in Fremont. That's what it looks like. And here you have the platform, the stone, and you see the beams right up here. This was almost some kind of like a gate, almost like they had this one had like I forgot what they called it, but the gate to actually release the water if they want to. There's a little pump in there or something like that. Or I don't think it's really used anymore. It might be. You can see right here. And there's a gate on the side. I think that's the only one I've seen like that. And there's another one. This was probably also on the Rockingham. There's a little bit of stone over the top of it too. Not sure what that's all about. That was a nice touch. But you'll see a series of these. More stone. This one, so it's a tree somehow growing right off the top of it. I don't know where the roots are growing into. They're on top of the stones, but it's kind of weird. But it's a pretty large tree there. It was able to grow at that point. There's a big platform there. And if it was wet, I didn't try to walk through those. Wasn't worth it. But look at, again, that tree growing right there on top of it. And there's another one, typically what you'd see running under a highway, something like this. And it looks like they're staging. Came loose, was falling. That could be dangerous. I didn't really think much of it. I think this is when I was entering it's right near the Wyndham Depot, but there's a separate rail trail. I believe it's called the Wyndham Greenway. Now on the map, on the satellite, it'll say WN and P branch of the B&M, Worcester, Nashua, Portland. It's just a short, maybe 2.5 miles, uneventful, extremely uneventful walk. So you park in the Wyndham Depot lot and then walk this way, walk through here. It's, again, I think it's barely 2.5 miles. Nothing to see, but I just wanted to go walk it just because it was part of the railroad at one time. This was also on that same trail. I didn't see much there, but I did take some pictures. I think I made a video of, there was an old car mangled up in the woods. I took a picture of her video too. This was on the Wyndham. So the Rockingham ends at the Wyndham Rail Trail. This thing is just absolutely massive. I think this was some kind of a road at one time. This was actually a road that was used. But a huge arch, huge pass-through right there. I think there's somebody was camping under there at one time or something. I don't know. That's why that's there. I didn't follow the road. If I come back this way, I probably could have followed it more just to see if there's any remnants of that left. But yeah, this was an actual active road at one time. And again, this was on the Wyndham. I think that's the last one, yeah. So that's the last one. I probably posted like 30 or so of these, but just wanted to show you the different types of pass-throughs, culverts that were built for the railroads. It's amazing the things you see out there. And again, this was very steep, not easy to walk down to this. I'm sure there's another way to walk from the other side in. But over here, there was some kind of other trails, but I don't know if they were public or private or not. So, of course, I did the hard way and had to walk down the steep embankment, but I'm glad I did, because that's pretty crazy to see that. But yeah, all right, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think. These are pretty amazing to see. And again, a lot of times you'll see these, they build these beautiful arches. They do the extra work for things that probably aren't going to be seen by 90% of people that walk the trails. Most of the time, they probably don't even know what you're walking on until you actually walk down there, if you're willing to walk down there, which is not easy sometimes, and see what they really put into it. But yeah, all right, I'll see you soon.